Hey everybody, back here once again. It's Mary Z for Voice Hacks. Today I am going to show you some basic tips on how to teach yourself to fry scream. Let's take a few precautions first. First of all, you should always be warmed up. If you don't have any good vocal warm-ups, just go to my playlists, check out the Belter series, try exercises 1 and 2, or also try to look for my vocal compression exercise. Those are great ones to start with. Open up the blood vessels always before you try to start doing anything with distortion. And as always, if anything causes hoarseness, pain, aching, gripping, tension, then stop what you're doing immediately, okay? So this video is designed to replace any other fry screaming tutorials that I may have had up on YouTube. I had 2 other videos, and if you've seen them, thank you so much for watching. And this video is the replacement for both of those now. Let's talk about what is fry screaming and what's the correct definition and what is not. Fry screaming is not what we call vocal fry. Vocal fry is actually its own definition in the medical community even. It's not even just a definition that vocal teachers use. It has its own official definition, and vocal fry is this sound. It's like a gurgly, popcorny sound. It's also like an annoying way that some teenagers like to talk, like, oh my God. That is vocal fry. So that should not be confused with fry screaming. And fry is not a universal word for all distortion. So if we're doing raspy singing like a blues singer, or raspy shouting like a metal or post-hardcore singer or shouter or screamer, anything that has your voice in it, we would want to classify that as raspy voice or voice with distortion. Distortion is the name for distortion, not fry. So fry is the name for a very specific scream. Fry screaming is where our vocal folds actually come together like this. When we sing or speak, just to be clear, our vocal folds sit perpendicular to the windpipe right here behind the cartilage. They move like this. They sort of undulate and touch each other in waves as you speak or sing anything with pitch. What creates the distortion in raspy shouting, hey, or singing is shaking around the tissues in the soft palate and the sinuses at the same time as you use your regular voice. When we fry scream, we're not actually using our voice anymore. You're also free to Google. There are a lot of folks out there who've done uploads of their own video endoscopies of their vocal cords while fry screaming. So there's a lot of videos out there of this stuff you can check out. If you feel like falling down a YouTube or a Google hole, you can actually see the vocal cords doing this, coming together and the air being pushed between them. Then what we do after we do that is we shake the tissues around in the soft palate and the sinuses at the same time as we're pushing air through our closed vocal folds. So our cords are not shouting, they're not slamming. It's honestly, when you can do it correctly, it is quite safe to do. However, the danger is if we don't know what we're doing and we do it incorrectly and we end up just shouting, it's not yelling, it's not using our voice. Shouting is slamming our cords together, which will create swelling and hoarseness, and we don't want to push anything from the throat. So if you're unclear about how to push screams with air, go ahead and check out my YouTube video on breathing exercises for screamers. That's going to get you kick-started on how to push your air from underneath. You don't want to be lifting your chest and dropping it like that. There are 2 methods I have to show you on how to do fry screaming, and if these don't work for you, that's normal. This is really, really advanced. So if you can't teach yourself from a video, don't be discouraged. Don't push it, because that's why I have screaming students from all over the world every single week. But if you're lucky and this works for you, this might start to open some doors. So the first thing you want to do is start with a vocal fry like this, like and to find your vocal fry, you want to start in your talking voice, making some voice, and then drop the pitch really, really low until you lose the pitch entirely and you get popcorn. So, okay, try that. And if you can't vocal fry, then you may need to get with a vocal coach or search for some vocal compression exercises. Not everybody can vocal fry. Then when you get the vocal fry, what you're going to do is you're going to start to introduce some some whisper sound in it. Fry screaming doesn't have vocal fry in it, but vocal fry brings the chords together in a voiceless way, just a little looser than fry. It's kind of like as opposed to we're going to be learning how to lose the vocal fry and how to create distortion. So what you do is you start with the vocal fry sound, and then you bring in some whisper into it to create a small amount of static. We'll do it like this. I call it from ah to ha. H is voiceless and whispery, so we go like ah. So you can see that's not really a full fry scream. It's kind of small. Some people are able to just drive it into a full fry scream right away. But at first, most folks I find get that smaller static where the vocal fry disappears. It's static, it's not voice, but still not huge like a fry scream. So once you get that, you can start growing the ha and learning to push it with your air and start making it a little bit bigger. And you can hear there's an overtone in there, but it's not my voice. I'm not going, or whatever. That's a scream. That's not my voice in there. Let's now take a look at the second method. And the second method I have is to do that vocal fry and start making an S or a Z around it. So we're going to do an S to a Z actually like zzz, but you're not actually going to say a Z. You're trying to do it around the vocal fry. And when you do it, it kind of forces your voice into the fry. So it's like this. So once you get it going on the Z, you can open it up and you'll have that full big fry scream. If you're stuck on only a really small scream, you may need to increase your vocal compression strength. So you might need lessons, or you might need to work on compression strengthening exercises, but I don't recommend doing this on your own. And if you're trying the screams and you ever experience any pain, strain, gripping, aching, or hoarseness, stop immediately. If you have prolonging issues when attempting to scream or after attempting to scream, then you need to see a physician. You have to understand that we don't want to hurt ourselves here, and that vocal coaches are not physicians. We know a lot about anatomy, but we're not doctors. So you can't take a vocal coach's advice over a doctor's. You need to see your doctor if you're actually having any problems. So take it easy when you're trying this. You're trying this at your own risk. I'm not responsible if you guys go too far. You have to gauge your own feelings. If things hurt, stop doing it, okay? So these methods are meant to make you be able to get it without trying to shout. Just know that the pitched overtones we hear in fry are not someone's voice. They're not going, ah, like that. We can do that with distortion, but that's raspy shouting. Yeah! That's completely different than than a full fry scream, okay? So just know that there's a big difference in there, and you should not be trying to put your voice in it, and that's why we start from vocal fry. If these are not working and you're experiencing any issues, then stop what you're doing and look into lessons. These could maybe help a few of you, but a lot of you, you're going to need lessons and extra care and attention. So remember, you only get one instrument. Don't just keep pushing it or whatever to try to get something. I have way more techniques than this. And if you need help, I can help you in lessons. Thanks everybody for checking out my How to Fry Scream video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'm going to be coming back with more reaction videos and tutorials very soon. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week.